Hello mountain lovers, it's Brenda again with Majestic Mountain Living. I thought what I'd like to do today is just walk you along through my garden paths and show you some of the things that I do to prepare my gardens for next year. So over here you can see where I had my vegetable garden and torn all the old tomato plants out. Still have a lot of mint that's growing, even some parsley over there. So what I'm doing is I'll just leave these tomatoes, and it's kind of funny because next year I'll have a lot of volunteer tomatoes come up, and then I just mulch it all in. And some of this is just got to be still kind of picked through. There's my rosemary over there. It does good through the winter months. This bed over here still has some carrots, some peas, and a few beets that I'll probably pull in the next week or two. This is a mess. This is a lot of my herbs I've got to cut through. But you know what? You can just actually leave it, add more leaves to the top, and then come springtime kind of clean it out. Same with this bed over here. This has a lot of random lettuce and some herbs in it too. What I'd like to show you here is the cosmos. They don't look good now, but what you want to do is, if you see here, this whole thing right here is just seeds. And you can pick those off and put them in a paper bag or an envelope and then plant those next year. I've taken a lot off already, but all of those blooms will turn to seeds. So you can recycle and use them for next year. This side of the yard I can pretty much just leave. Could trim back the roses a little because they're still blooming. I'll probably just leave those for a little bit longer. And there's my pumpkin man. There isn't really anything over here that I need to tend to. The fruit trees are losing their leaves. I do have some potted flowers on those chairs that I'll probably see if there's anything in there for seeds. Here's a planter that I already pulled some of the other things out that I wanted to save for next year. But what you want to do is, when you see a dried marigold, you want to go through it, and you'll see in the inside are all the seeds. So you want to put those in something to dry. I use old envelopes or paper bag if I have a lot of them. This one I'm just going to throw back into the dirt, so next year I should have a lot of nice little marigolds that are going to pop up. I have another one on this side. I've already kind of gone through it, but I will be looking for any of the snapdragons that are going to go to seed and start collecting those. I know I have some on the other side of the property that I think are probably ready to pick. I don't really see any in here. Now this is what I use for my compost, and it does need to be turned over right now, but I will continue turning it through the summer months, adding some water. Come springtime, I'll have lots of great soil to mix into my garden bed. So this is a really easy way to use your vegetable scraps, your coffee grounds, and your eggshells, and just collect them in the kitchen and then bring them out and toss them in, and then again occasionally just stir it, and come springtime you'll have some great compost. This marigold has lots of dry, dead blooms. It'll be great to pick, and this one had a really pretty dark color, so that'll be fun to save the seeds for next year for sure. So here's the snapdragon that I was talking about, that I knew there was some seeds that were forming, and you'll see those just in a little round cluster like this, and you have to be really careful because it is full of seeds, so you'll want to have something to put that in right away before they all fall into the dirt. And then I'm going to cut this back because snapdragons will come back, so you'll just want to keep it, you know, cut and then watered. Even through the winter months when you don't have any snow or rain, you do need to water them because they will die and then they won't come back at all. Same with the Dusty Miller. this has come back several years, and it's got some plants growing in there. That's actually columbine. Couldn't think of it. Same with the mums. They're done. I didn't really water them the last couple weeks, but I do need to continue watering them. But I'm going to cut everything in here down. When we had a little cold snap, they all went. But these snapdragons over here are still looking really pretty. So I'll just kind of monitor those for seeds to save for next year. And these mums all need to be cut back. So just some little maintenance, and again, remember to continue watering. You can cut everything back, and then you can put, for the holiday, for Christmas, you could put some faux poinsettias, or even a plant that does really well in the cold is pansies. So you could even put some pansies in your pots, and they will do well through the winter months and then still be good for spring. Even summer, as long as you keep them cool in a cool spot. So and there, down there is the horse corrals down at the barn. Gorgeous day. All right, thank you. Fall is a good time to go ahead and start deadheading all of your roses, anything that's been left that's just done blooming, and then it's a good idea to go ahead and trim your roses back. They do better in the springtime, and then if it is a big heavy snow, it's not going to break the branches. So I like to go through and cut any dead out, like this over here. There's a lot of dead on that rose. So all of that needs to be cut out that you can see in there. And then again, cutting them low does produce more blooms in the spring. So I'll work on those a little at a time just to ensure that they have great blooms. Another trick I'm going to share with you come springtime that I just discovered is I've always had a problem with aphids, and I've tried everything. This year I actually was introduced to neem oil, which I just mix in a spray bottle and sprayed directly on the flowers and the plant, and I was really surprised on how well it did with the little aphid boogers. My lilac bush here is completely lost its leaves, and I was reading that it said when they get to be over 6 feet, you can start trimming them, and I think that's mostly so that they don't break in the heavy storm. So I don't know whether I'll trim that one this year or not. It's also a good time to go ahead, if you are going to plant bulbs, to plant those now for your spring blooms. I already have bulbs in the ground here, so I won't be planting any more this year. But I tried to put them in the front so that before the roses start to grow with the blooms, then I'll have a little color with the spring bulbs. And then we had a lot of California poppies that just came out randomly. This is not the season for them, so that's just one that survived. But I collected all the seeds, so I can spread those around as well. So anyways, that is a little bit of the gardening that I'll be doing just to prepare some of my plants for the cold, and look forward to next spring, having everything just come out fresh and beautiful. Thanks again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you real soon. Thanks so much.